Hi everyone. We've reached the halfway point of our course. And with that, let me begin with a quick recap of our journey thus far. By now, you should be very familiar with the concept of cultural intelligence and some of the nuances behind the Livermore framework versus other cultural competency models. I know we are very familiar with models that discuss specific dimensions of cultural competence, such as greetings, customs, and language. Other models focus in on broader social contexts such as race, power, and privilege. The Livermore model puts this discussion back to where it all starts, at the personal level, and understanding the four dimensions of cultural intelligence: CQ drive, CQ knowledge, CQ strategy, and CQ action are key. The first half of the class was spent understanding the model and evaluating your own sense of CQ. Once we had a good sense for your own sense of this, and this was the purpose of your first paper, we began to look at things from an organizational perspective and applied the model to your own setting. This will give us the foundation for what is to come as we continue this organizationally and ultimately ask, what, as leaders, are you going to do about it? In Module 5, we analyzed 4 different leadership theories that dealt with culture: Hofstede's Cultural Dimensions Model, Implicit Leadership Theory, the Leadership Diamond, and Critical Race Theory. Each model brings with it a unique perspective and important aspects to understand. And while I will not take the time, at least in this recap, to go over each of them in detail, I encourage you to be familiar with them, and most importantly, see how they apply to the world around you. Personally, I see all 4 of these theories in much of our rhetoric today, whether it is around politics, economics, or social issues. This past, as well as this last module, you were asked to integrate a leadership approach, such as skills, behavior, or trait, into one of these, and you all did a fine job. The key, I hope, you found is in what this looks like in application. For example, with a behavioral approach, Hofstede's cultural dimensions could be reframed to how a leader must behave, being cognizant of power distance, or whether that behavior is reflective of a collectivist or individualistic culture. Another is the skills approach combined with implicit leadership theory. This may result in leaders taking steps to develop their own sense of awareness of how they are perceived by others. So integrating theories together forms the basis of synthesis, which is simply putting together 2 ideas into a new one. Now, at the end of this week, you'll turn in your second paper, which is the Cultural Intelligence Synthesis and Development Plan. As it reflects on your first paper, you will summarize, not repeat, the results from your first paper. You'll write about a growth plan and how you will achieve this. You will include in a table format how this will be done. Now remember that the table should include and not just be Remember that the table should be included and not just be the entire plan itself. In other words, you will write your paper and the table should help your paper, not be the main source of information. Formatting the table, I want you to see the APA manual on tables, which is Chapter 5. In the paper, remember to cite and support your arguments and why you think, according to the research, your plan will work. Finally, and as always, APA style, which means a cover page, abstract, and references. I look forward to reading those. All right, that's all for now. And as always, continue posting, work on the final touches on your paper, and I will see you all online.